So we're going to have on right now Kurt Wannebo. Kurt Wannebo was ranked by the Wall Street Journal as the #1 realtor here in San Diego. He's all over the place. Here you see him on your screen doing videos of Carmel Valley, showing what's happening out in that landscape out there, and certainly leveraging some of his talents with these videos to do marketing and things along those lines. So wanted to bring him in here to help us understand what's going on with the market. Kurt, always good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Craig.
So we had you on the radio show this week. Prior to that, we actually had you at the Real Estate Mastery event, and you spoke on stage. So
yeah, quite a
that was
turnout.
a good event for you. Yeah,
quite a turnout. A lot of real estate agents there, and a lot of people interested in real estate.
Yeah, and so we talked about this a little bit on the radio show, and there's Kurt on stage in front of about 2,000 people. But we talked about on the radio show how getting a real estate license isn't that complicated, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that shouldn't necessarily have it. And there was about 2,000 of them there at the event last Tuesday. But you have to be careful with who you work with, right?
Sometimes.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some great ones out there. We have obviously you and some of the elite of the San Diego real estate market on this show, but a very small percentage I would consider to be great. But there's a lot that are licenses. They do a lot of marketing, and you might think, you saw them on a bus bench. This must mean they know our market pretty well. What are some things that we need to look out for?
Well, this all stems from, you had mentioned before that there's about 17,000 real estate agents in San Diego. And the reality is that was the numbers about a year ago. The numbers today is about 20,000. So what that means is about 3,000 people have become agents within the past year or so. And so I consider, selling a property one of your biggest financial investments that you have, and that you want to work with someone who is knowledgeable and experienced. And I think that it's very important for people to consider how they go about hiring real estate agents. And this really stems from also what's going on with the market, with things taking a little bit longer to sell, and people needing some additional marketing and having deals fall apart quite frequently. One of the things that is happening to me right now is people are coming to me and saying, I've worked with another agent. Even though I had multiple offers and we are in escrow once or twice, everything fell apart, and here I am 6 months later, and it's cost us a substantial amount of money. So to speak to that, I understand that real estate is a very personable type of relationship and transaction, and a lot of people want to work with someone.
A lot of emotion in there.
There's a lot of emotion, so they want to work with somebody that they know and they trust. And I absolutely agree with that. That is an important aspect when it comes to deciding, but I would consider that to be maybe 20 to 25% of the entire equation. What you really want to focus on, what I'd say would be 70 to 75% of the equation, would be looking at what their track record is and what their history is and what others have to say about them.
Now, on the show this week, you had mentioned ripoffreport.com as being a resource.
Right. So the first thing I tell people to do is simply just go online and Google somebody's name, at least. Not everybody does that in today's environment, but a lot of the younger generation does. But what you'll see is that there'll be a tremendous amount of things that pop up, and one of the things that can be very negative is sometimes you find people on a ripoffreport.com, or you may come across positive things such as, that have reviews about them, such as websites like Yelp or Zillow, or even the San Diego Tribune ranks real estate agents in different manners. So there's a lot of different research that you can do to find out about them.
Now Zillow's doing it as well, which was a place that people were going to get information about their property. We have a website here and a video of you demonstrating, I think it was your gal and your team, how you can go and actually find someone on Zillow. So walk us through this. Yeah,
so this is simply, if you were to Google my name, what pops up? And there are a lot of different review websites out there, one of them being Yelp. But Yelp is kind of all-encompassing and ranks everything from restaurants to barbers, etc. Zillow is more of a rating system that actually focuses strictly on real estate and real estate agents. And what they've actually done, they've always had reviews there. So you've always had the opportunity to see what others have to say about the real estate agent. But one thing that they've actually added is how many transactions they've done in the past 12 months. So you can see here, it'll tell me how many I've actually done in the past 12 months. And you will find at times that some agents, maybe only sell 1 home a year or 0 in the past year. And then what it also does is it will show, how many active listings they have right now. So it'll tell you how actively engaged they are in doing real estate. And then from there, it'll actually show their track record and how many full sales that they've done in their entire career. So that gives you something now as a resource to go to actually look at what a difference may be between an agent who has only sold 1 or 2 properties in their career versus maybe 40, 50, or hundreds.
Okay, so that's going online. That's looking at Ripoff Report, Zillow, another resource. Yelp can be, but I see a lot of agents that will actually pay to get good Yelp reviews. You
Well,
can't really do that with Zillow.
Zillow is not a pay-to-play
Right.
type website. They put every review out there. And the problem I have with Yelp is, one, it focuses on everything. It's not just simply real estate based. Two, it is a pay-to-play type thing. So you essentially, if you pay and market with Yelp, then they will put more of your good reviews out there and take some of your bad ones. And I know this from firsthand experience.
Yep.
And two, they filter a lot of reviews. And I feel personally that consumers are smart enough nowadays to determine if there's a fake review there or not. And so I'm more of an advocate of look at all the reviews. Let's see what everybody has to say as opposed to Yelp.
There's a couple places where you can check credentials as well. There's a DRE, there's BBB. Explain those.
So that's just a different resource to actually look at somebody's licensure. This is something that I always advocate people do that some consumers don't even know they can do. You can actually go to the Bureau of Real Estate and type in their name and see when they got licensed and if there have been any complaints or problems with the BRE. It'll actually state if they've been dinged or had a report filed against them. And then same thing with the BBB, which is nothing new. It kind of just ranks
Better Business Bureau.
Better Business Bureau, which kind of just ranks real estate agents, or not agents, but agencies to determine if there have been any problems in the past. It'll tell you if they're a member of the BBB and if they support it or if not. So these are things that actually I feel are very, very important. I've gone in, sometimes I'm going up against another agent or two, and I like to know who my competition is. I like to know, not to, just so that consumers are aware, look, this person has had some trouble in the past, here's my impeccable record. This is something that you as a seller, you're paying them possibly 3% commission, which on a $500,000 house could be $15,000. And so if you're paying that kind of money to a professional, you want to make sure that they have everything that they should as far as their track record, their experience, no problems, ethically or legally with the BRE or the BBB. So these are things that I always advocate people to do.
Well, the last thing I would suggest that people do, we've talked about looking at credentials, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the BRE, you have BBB. Looking online, you have Zillow reviews, not only for the reviews, but also the number of transactions. I think that's really important as well. So there's two components there.
That's something that consumers didn't have access to before, that they can now go online and see exactly how many transactions somebody's done.
And then ripoffreport.com, right? And you know what, there might be some reviews that, you can't just trust that, so you can talk to people, call them out on it, and, see how they react. And the last thing is, I would say go to their website. How much time do they put on their website? Because at the end of the day, when someone is marketing for you in your real estate, you want to know that they market themselves really well. And you have one of the best websites in real estate, a lot of videos. And
we do a lot of video stuff. One thing I would just say, you're right. Is a professional, if they're going to be professionally marketing your home, how good are they at professionally marketing themselves? And how much time and effort have they put into their marketing pieces such as website? Now, one thing that we do have a little bit that's different is we actually have video testimonial reviews from past clients. So you can actually see real people speaking, saying whatever it is they want, unscripted about what people that we've worked with in the past. And we literally have probably 40, 50 different videos up there from past clients.
Love it. BrokerKurt.com, Wall Street Journal rated him the #1 realtor here in San Diego. The guy is just doing big things, has for many years, and always good to have him on the show. Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Ray.